Winnie So of Wanlilu play. Wanlilu means 10,000 miles. How did the name come about, and what's the premise behind the company?
Well, there's a saying in Chinese, one is wiser for traveling 10,000 miles than studying 10,000 scrolls. And I've always loved travel, and I've always gained so much inspiration and insight from travel, and which is why I picked that name.
You were working in journalism in Hong Kong, working for some of the Hong Kong newspapers. Then you came to INSEAD, graduated, got the MBA in '98. Why then did you decide to set up a travel business?
I think it was more because I had always wanted to start my own business, but it took a little while for me to figure out what it is that I wanted to have a business in. And I thought about what I was passionate about, what I wouldn't mind waking up every morning doing, and it had to do with travel. Even though I don't actually get to travel on a lot of the trips that I plan, I still love planning these trips because every trip is different. The clients that I deal with, they turn into really good friends. You know, you get to know them, and it's not the sort of cookie cutter type of trip that they come to me and say, oh, I would like to go to India, and I just pull out a greatest hits of Rajasthan for them. I ask them, oh, what is it that you want to see? What do you want to experience? Do you want to go visit some local social enterprises, or are you going sourcing for your shops? Things like that. So everything is unique, and every client that I work with, it's sort of a new experience for me. So even though the destination may be the same, it can be a totally different trip.
And this is high-end travel. It's luxury travel, bespoke travel.
The word luxury, most people think luxury equals expensive, but in my mind, luxury is just having freedom and being able to do what it is that you want to do, see what it is that you want to see, and experience what you want to experience.
Because you're working effectively as a consultant, you haven't had to raise huge amount of money to set up an organization. So it's a small organization, effectively.
Yeah. It's a nimble organization. It means that I have the flexibility to work from wherever I want to work. So I can organize my life in such a way that, for example, I usually like to take time away from Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is a very intense, busy city, and I have the luxury to be able to take, a month at a time off, during the winter and the summer, and still be able to work, because most of my clients I converse with via email or Skype, and that's the great thing about technology these days, is that it affords you all that freedom to be able to work from anywhere in the world and to conduct business anywhere in the world.
Are you aiming to grow the organization?
That remains to be seen. I sort of would like to grow it, but at the same time I'm also weary of it. I like the way I have the flexibility to pursue projects that I'm interested in when given the opportunities. So it's sort of a balancing trick. So right now I'm quite happy working the way I work, but I'm always open. I'm always open to new possibilities.
What are some of the tours, trips that you've organized so far? On your website, you highlight South America, honeymooning in South America, weddings in Ubud, Bali.
The longest I've done was a 3-month sabbatical for a lawyer. I've done corporate retreats in far-off places. So, I mean, they run the gamut, but at the end of the day, it's really down to what the client wants. So it's not me sort of pushing, oh, you must go see this or that. Everything starts from what it is that the client wants.
And what about China? Presumably, a lot of people from Western countries are very interested in going there right now.
China is an interesting place. Most of my clients are Hong Kong based. And so for Hong Kong travelers, it's very easy for them to organize their own trips. And the cost, often they look at it, and because I charge a planning fee, that sometimes the cost of the trip might not justify engaging my services. But at the same time, I look at what's available out there, and they're to the sort of usual cities and the usual destinations. And I actually think that the real China is in the rural places. And those are the really sort of exciting, inspiring, fascinating places. And hopefully I'll get to send more clients there. But at the moment, the interest is still very strong towards South America, Africa, Japan, Europe, those types of places.
When you graduated from INSEAD with the MBA, did you feel as though you were under pressure, peer pressure, to go into a corporate job?
I interviewed for corporate jobs, definitely. I everyone's doing it, so of course you feel like you should too. You should at least explore the opportunity. So I did. But at the end of the day, I actually ended up with a startup company, and which fit me really well, because I've always worked on startups or independently as a journalist, so it was a good fit.
What about the risks, though? There must be times when you've really kind of stayed awake at night thinking, have I made the right sort of move?
No, because I've worked on startups, and the risk is, okay, I worked on a startup magazine, and after 2 issues, the investors decided to pull the plug on it. That happens, and I was well aware of the risks. And I always think that, okay, so if this one doesn't work out, there's always the next opportunity. So to me, I wasn't so afraid of those risks.
So what makes it worthwhile in the end?
Doing what you love, being able to do what I love on my own terms, and having freedom, flexibility, all of those things.
Winnie So of Wanlilu, thanks for joining us on INSEAD Knowledge.
Thanks, Stuart.